Hey, Ivan. Uh, I'm sending this directly to you about a couple of things I wanted to go over about a backup character and thing. Um, First off, Thane. I put up a moment ago on the Lamentation side about my concept of what was happening. Now, I've always kind of thought of that John Carter, traveling to Mars back and forth as being kind of a gateway. Even originally, we had discussed different things like uh, how other aliens may arrive to Mars, or at least in we was building the world initially. I was throwing things out like that, so um, all that was percolating in my little brain. Now, why I had what's been happening to him, what I kind of had going on with him whenever he switched to Mars too. And like this world is mad, and he was kind of losing his sanity, like the sanity type thing. Well, that was because I was I was kind of shifting it, and I was kind of playing up to like if you can't rely on your own faculties, maybe subconsciously you're relying on other things, and genetic memories can be more accessible and come out of you. And I kind of had in my mind uh, to incorporate a little, to bridge that OSR gap with Mars. That time I got the full plate mail, and because it's not indicative of what you would have on Mars, so I know it was a stretch. And the way thing was acting all like a knight, it's kind of out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? It's being all aloof and acting crazy and whatnot. Well, I was kind of having in my mind is like his ancestor may have came from Earth and being a knight, maybe questing for one of the nodes or what have you. Aside from all of that, that's kind of how I was bridging that together. So that was one thing I was wanting to tell you. Whether it plays out or not, or you have anything to do with that, that's secondary. That's I just played him that way in my mind. You can do whatever you want to with that. Um, there is a thing though. I'd like to bring out the backup character because Thane, I'm sitting on a fence with him, and I don't know which way to go. The sleepers, these people are worshiping. Well, he's wanting to convert people to Bella because he sees this. I'm still weighing the possibilities of that. Even up to game time, I don't even know if I want to switch to the backup. Uh, but I may in game at a certain point, if not, you know, uh, after or whatever. Could keep Thane, but nevertheless, I want to at least bring that Shane Cantos character into the picture. And in case Thane decides to stay with Argani, which kind of thinking in a way, I'm thinking it might be descendants of that O'Neill guy, but that's just between you and me. So I don't know if there's, a lot of that's going to depend on whether Thane stays with him or not to find some kind of, refixing a root cause or some kind of anyway. Um, Shang, after, he was a street rat just like Thuvian and Thane. Well, when Thane started hunting for relics for Sarosmenes, Shang got involved in with the house Spider, and Spider will be now. This could be adapted by you a little bit. This is the full blown. If we go all the way with it, it could be with House Spider. I believe earlier, I have memory. Can't remember if it was Mars was one or two, but that Mikhail, before we offed him, was trying to blame House Spider for Sarosini's death. Now, get it pegged that they would have sent Shane Cantos into the temple to try to gather information to clear it up or to find out what was going on, or either to assassinate Mikhail. But we got there and did the job before he did. Well, he might have gotten caught, or his name could have just none of that could happen, and his name could have been pulled in lottery. But in either case, he was one of the people in the crowd when the abomination came up and started tentacles are lashing out and getting a hold of everybody, and he's laying there, and he was one of the slaves, one of the offerings. And he barely escapes alive after the abomination breaks out of the temple and runs for it. Well, he's seen this abomination. He's already pissed his pants. He's got lesions all over him from these suckers attachments. He's pale from being leeched by this thing, and he wanders through the desert. Either the he comes to his senses a little bit, and he gets in with the Argani, like undercover, uh, for protection or to gain his bearings again. Or either they find him and they don't know if he's one of their numbers because he looks just like it, gaunt and ashen, like you say, and he may have a broke arm or look deformed some way, but nevertheless, from his condition. And so he'll be with the Argoni people. Now, at this point in time, if he has that spider attachment, the spiders could come into contact with him. They could recognize him, or Thane would recognize him if he bumps into him. Perhaps if he does, because what I'm going to do is use a little bit of healing to heal some of those guys up. I mean, if that would happen, then I'd see more of him defined and recognize him. And anyway, I mean, he would be easily like seen as not one of them after that. So I mean, anything could happen during game, but if I do decide to jump ship and into the Thane character, I mean into the Shang Kanto's character, then that would happen, and then Thane would stay there to kind of deal with the Argoni for whatever reason. Now, of course, you got your own story, so I'll decide which path that I should choose at that moment. But that's what I got going on. So probably be on the fly if I decide to do that. But if I don't, then at least Shang will be there, and he would probably just hitch up with the spiders and go along with them. Which later on, if they're going to the same place, it might be good to, down the road, bump into him again. He's already active in that area. So that's my thoughts, and want to throw them your way and let you, think about that and see how it may change whatever you got up your sleeve. So anyway, that's about it. I'll stop rambling now and get off. All right, bud. Talk to you later, man.